Manga Gold does have his ups and downs. Not like Manga Red, who genuinely fought Pokemon in the manga. No, not like fought, like actually fist fought. But Manga Gold has been seen to have some insane moments, including with this Pichu. So, that got me thinking, is it actually possible for Manga Gold to actually beat Pokemon Frontier Legacy? So, I'm gonna go ahead and answer that question for myself. So, I'm going to be naming all the rules and challenges I have to complete or do during this run. 1. Since Manga Gold is supposed to be beating the game, I have to use his Canon Full Team, aka all the Pokemon he used during his run. 2. I had to beat every single gym leader. I have 3 deaths, so if I white out 3 times, the run is over. And finally, I have to get the champion badge. So, without further ado, let's see if Manga Gold can beat Pokemon Brick Bronze Frontier, starting now. We woke up, walked outside, and got interrupted by Jake. But, since Gold does have limited Pokemon, I am going to explain to you what his Canon team actually looks like. It actually looks like this. He starts with Typhlosion, he gets a Politoed, an Ambipom, a Sudowoodo, a Sunflora, and a Togekiss. Now, he does have 2 extra Pokemon, like Mantine and Pichu, but I'm only going to be using those for emergencies if I ever need an extra Pokemon. But I highly doubt it. So, let's go ahead and get our first Pokemon and talk to our parents, and we'll go ahead and continue this run. So, let's go ahead and get Cyndaquil. We arrived in his lab, and we chose Cyndaquil like I said before. And he does give nicknames to his Pokemon, so we named Cyndaquil, of course, from the manga, Expo, which is an interesting name, but I'm not complaining, I like it a lot. It has a little ring to it, so I don't care. Jake wanted to battle us, so we knew we were going to have to win. But let's not, cut to the chase. We sent out Expo, but then I realized we don't have Ember. So we ended up just getting owned. I wanted to use another move, but Eevee's way too fast, so we ended up losing. I'm not counting this death, because this was really just a tutorial battle, and there's always a chance of you losing and winning. Anyways, we're going to make our way to Route 1, to, of course, beat all 3 trainers and make our way to Chashma Town. Battled the first trainer, which was surprisingly easy, and I thought it was a little harder than before, but I forgot this isn't a randomizer. Then we beat number 2, and then we beat number 3, which is alright. We got stopped on our way to Chashma Town by Jake, and he told us that our parents got abducted, but I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. Who cares? Anyways, going on to Chashma Town, we made our way through Chashma Town, and a lady stopped us. I think we're getting milk and cookies, or muffins. Oh, heck yeah. Never mind, we were robbed, so now we gotta go stop her in Gale Forest, I guess. Anyways, making our way through Gale Forest, I realized that we wouldn't get our next partner in a long time. So, we had to make our way through Gale Forest as fast as we can, and battle as many trainers as we could, to meet up with the lady in pink. We finally caught up with the lady in pink, and of course, she's next to a pink tree, how convenient. But we battled her to try to get our necklace back. We knocked out her Poochyena, then we also knocked out her Pancham, which was a little tougher. But we managed to win, and Jake came to talk to us about being happy to get our necklace back or whatever. Making our way back to Cheshire Town, we needed to make it to Route 2, and then we also needed to make it to Route 3 to go challenge the first gym. So let's go ahead and beat all these trainers, but I needed to fight this guy multiple times because he gives a lot of XP from his little special Pokemon called Dunsparce. Like I said before, tons of XP! So Cyndaquil began to evolve after fighting him a few times, as you can see here. Then he became Kulava, so then I realized, I think we're strong enough, it's Chad time. So, let's go ahead and smack him up, that way we can just, move on. He sent out Shinx, which wasn't actually a problem, because Shinx almost actually died to a single Ember, but he managed to switch out. But anyway, we won anyway regardless. So let's go ahead and move on, but here's the best part. After getting our first gym badge, we managed to actually get our second partner right after this, which is actually amazing. So let me show you what exactly I got. We can actually get Sudowoodo from cutting down the tree outside of Sylvan City, and we also named it Sudubo, which is an interesting name from Gold, but hey, I'm not complaining, there's another ring to it, so I don't really mind. After that, we got running shoes and saw a guy get trampled, I don't even know. Anyways, moving on, not my problem. We're about to make it to Brimber City when Jake stopped us to have another battle with us. Don't worry, I'll save you some time, we absolutely just murdered him. We made it to Brimber City, and we were stopped by Jake and the gym leader because they wanted to talk about Team Eclipse and how I should go stop them at Route 6. So, we're gonna go do just that. After stopping the commander from summoning Groudon, and the gym leader cooling things down, it was time to go challenge the Brimber City gym, and after pulling off some insane parkour moves, oh yeah, it was time to battle the gym leader. And he was pretty easy, considering I had a Sudobo and he had Stone Edge. so I was able to just slime everybody out, getting us our second gym badge. It was probably the easiest one of them all. But next, of course, water, and things were probably going to get a little tougher. But let's just hope for the best. After making it to Route 7, and actually successfully getting our two newest partners named Sunbow and Polybow, which will then be Sunflora and Polytoad, we managed to make our way to the end of Route 7 and all the way to Laguna Lake, which would benefit us in a ton of ways, including getting stones. After finishing double battles with Jake, and of course making it to Rose Cup Beach, we decided to hit the palm trees so we can get our next partner, of course, Apom, which we named Ibo. A-I-A-B-O. Sorry, misspelled that. Oops. But anyway, we took down Team Eclipse, including the commander, and then he threw the blue orb, and Kyogre was mad. And then they got slimed out, but we're gonna ignore that, because I don't really care. The Team Eclipse, who cares? Anyways, we had to go back to Rose Cove Beach to, of course, get our next partner. But first, look at Apom! Yeah! Then we got our egg for Togepi. Next, we challenged the third gym, Quinton, so this shouldn't be hard. But after that, we had to use, I think, Woodhammer. Yeah! Slimed him out. But anyway, we got our third gym badge, which was pretty easy. Then we had to go meet up with Jake and Tess at Route 9, and then battle Jake, then take down Tess as well, which is also a pain. But honestly, I don't care, whatever. Making our way to Route 10, we kept walking until we got interrupted by Absol, which, I guess wants to be my Pokemon. But you're not Manga Gold's team member, so I can't really add you, but I'm sorry. And then they got scared, but who cares, I'm going to Cragonos Cliffs. I got a rare candy from the house, and then I decided to okay, I'm just gonna go in. So I went in. As I was making my way through Cragonos Mines, I ran into a bunch of Pokemon, and I tried avoiding this guy, but he still saw me. I think he saw me climb up his shoulders, but I beat him up, so that's fine. Anyways, making our way outside the Cragonos Cliffs, we stopped by the Pokemon Center to get some repels. Not only that, we had to go past all of Cragonos Cliffs, and then make it to the peak. Once we're at the peak, we could finally make it to Anthean City, and of course pick up the shiny stone behind the Entei statue. Who would forget this? No one, not me. But anyway, we're gonna make it to Anthean City. Anthean City time lapse! We also traded with myself to also trade my Poliwhirl to myself, like I said before, and it comes back as a Politoad. We're so ready. But anyway, after going back, we had to prepare for the fourth gym. Why is that even possible? Okay. Steven's gym battle wasn't actually too hard, with me having to sweep his entire team with, of course, Typhlosion, and our boy Polybow, and Sudowoodo. What else are we supposed to use? Come on. But Sudowoodo mostly did all the work because he's a rock type. But after that, Exo wanted to learn Flamethrower, so we did. And guess who started evolving? That's right, Sumbo! And we also hatched our egg, which gave us, of course, our Togepi. By the way, this weird thing kept happening. Every time I rejoined the game, my nicknames would reset, which is really weird. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but if you guys can tell me, that'd be great. But right now, everything's been looking great, so let's go ahead and go. Time to go help out Tess, I guess. Shopping district we go. We made it over there, and Tess's uncle or something wanted us to help out. And after double battling a bit with Tess and her healing our Pokemon, we had to go save Jake, who's getting mauled by a bunch of guys for like the 7th million time, bro. But anyway, we saw Cypress, he stripped in front of us, and Absol came to our rescue, who wanted to help us. So, hey, can't complain. But now it's time for the Cypress fight, which was surprisingly easy, and I thought I was gonna have a lot more trouble. But then again, since we're required to use Absol, I thought, why not use it to our advantage, since Absol did have a few super effective moves on these starters. But Sunbow did pitch in, and so did Typhlosion. But Feraligatr was the last one, so we had, of course, Sudowoodo take him out with Woodhammer. So that gets our win, and Togepi began to evolve into our boy, or I guess girl, Togetic. Yeah. Anyways, Palkia and Dialga showed up and wanted to drag us through a portal to save Anthean City, which wasn't too much of a drag. Sure, we got pulled through, but who cares? Anyways, Togebo evolved again after using the shiny stone that we got behind the Entei statue. Yeah, we got ourselves a Togekiss. Isn't that awesome? I think it's awesome. Anyways, after stopping the guy who was setting off the bombs, we went back and the uncle wanted to talk to us, but we're going back to Cragonos Peak because we need to go to Route 11. And if we go to Route 11, that leads us to Aradia City, which is our next gym badge, of course. So why else would we go over there? But anyway, after taking the Sky Train, now it was time to go past all of Route 11, which shouldn't take too long, I think. But anyway, now that we're in Aradia City, it was finally time to take down Team Eclipse and save Ryan. After we did, we had a little bit of a problem, but other than that, anyways, speedrunning their battles. Mwahaha. After that, we challenged Ryan, which leads with Quagsire, so we lived with Sunbow, and of course took it out. Then his Excadrill came out, which wasn't too much of a problem, but then Big Bad came out. That's terrifying. So now I had to think of something now. Togebo took him out, don't worry, we had Fairy Wind. Steelix was next, but we took him out with Aibo, which wasn't too hard. Then it was Claydol, which we just easily destroyed with Giga Drain, and Petal Blizzard, of course. So that got us our 5th gym badge. Next, we're gonna go heal up our Pokemon and head to the next route. Now, let's make our way to Floroma City to get our next gym badge, of course. We met Thundurus, I think Tornadus too. I went the wrong way. Sorry. But anyway, after going through the route and not battling a single trainer, you pretend you didn't see this. Going to Floroma City, it was time to battle the next gym, and of course we had to go heal up our Pokemon first though. After making our way inside, we had to do the puzzle. Yes, that involves doing a bunch of the following: grabbing wood, yup, battling a bunch of trainers, and finding the fruits. Dude, it was so annoying, man. This is why this affects LeBron's legacy, man. Like, honestly. Anyways, time to battle Fissy, which actually was very, very easy with Typhlosion on our team. So, Typhlosion, destroy! After we did that, his Venusaur evolved, but we murdered it. Anyways, his Tropius was out as well, but we murdered that too. His Roserade, absolutely dead. Breloom, dead too. Tangrowth, dead too. Fissy was not a problem at all. That got us our 6th gym badge. Time to head to the next route, and we battled Team Eclipse after finding out Jake was like imposter or something. I forgot. But we took down these Team Eclipse goons before we could fight Jake. Jake wasn't too much problem actually, but after taking these guys down, I'll show you how the Jake battle went. And then Tess was like immediately shocked. No! Jake! It can't be. But anyway, we had a bit of a problem, but we didn't white out, so this doesn't count as a death, so we're good. We took him out, so we're good in the hood, bruh. Yeesh. But after taking him down, we stopped by the... It was kind of cold, man. Listen. I was just... Huh? What the... What are you looking at? What do you mean? What is that? Who is that? What the... Why are you in the... I'm cooking? Okay, I guess. Bye. Whatever. Anyways, we're in Frostvale City. Time to challenge the next gym. But, we had to deal with this goons first, which isn't too difficult. Now is Zeke. I'm not gonna bore you with this, but this took so long because of how many times I had to heal up. So, I'm just gonna show you one Pokemon I killed. But anyway, we beat Zeke, so. We got our 7th gym badge. Yeesh, dude. Oh my gosh, Zeke was a problem. Anyways, we're on Route 16! It's time to go to Port Deca. Because we need Surf, and Polybo needs to learn something better than just Bubble Beam, bruh. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was the worst move I've ever done had in my entire life. Yeesh. But anyway, we're in Port Deca now, and we met up with the champion and Tess, which they proceeded to give us HM, I think 03, which is Surf. We managed to surf all the way to Crescent Town, or Crescent Island, whichever one you prefer, but not without a few repels. Anyways, after we made it, a fisherman told us that Tess was taken or something, so we saw the Team Eclipse guy. We immediately started hawking this guy down, not letting this guy escape. And then he saw me, so he's like, oh crap, so he ran inside. But anyway, we're gonna go chase him down now. Once we made it inside, we hawked down everybody. That includes fighting this first guy, and killing his Greninja. Then killing this girl's Slurpuff, which isn't too difficult. And then killing this guy's Macargo with Rollout, which is surprising. We met up with the guy who was keeping our parents and Tess trapped, so we decided to battle him and absolutely murder him. That's right, we destroyed his family tree. After that, we went to go find Tess and my parents, and after meeting up with them, you know, you gotta do the whole saving thing, I guess. Let's go do that then. Anyways, we're gonna meet up with them at their little ship, and we come in flying. What's up, Cypress? You gonna battle me again? Hey, you, okay. Anyways, we battled Jake, and it was time to destroy him. And we ended up doing exactly so. But I feel like he's the easiest rival I've ever fought. But anyway, we made it to the Demon's Tomb, and found out that my brick basically summoned Hoopa. So that's not good. But anyway, Hoopa then came out of his freaking tomb, and then my dad's talking about something, it's all up to you. Alright, I'm not doing all that. But anyway, like, come on, man. Up to me? I'm trying to beat the game as Gold's team, and you're putting me up against a, like, god of, like, space. Like, what do you mean? Who can summon dimensions? But anyway, we sent out Sudobo to absolutely destroy this guy. Because, come on, man. I don't really care about Hoopa. We're not going to use him anyway, so die. Anyways, after destroying Hoopa, we went to go challenge Captain B, who we easily destroyed in battle. I mean, kind of? But we won. So, who cares? We got our 8th gym badge with no deaths. I think we have 1. But anyway, on our way to Cosmios Valley, we had to make our way to, of course, the Roria League. That's right, we're here now. It's time to destroy the Elite Four. But since we made it, it's time to get repels, potions, and all that stuff we can, and heal up our team for the final time. And finally take down the Elite Four. Let's go ahead and do this then. Come on. We made it. And the first one was Bellara. She specializes in Poison-type Pokemon, and since I don't have many Psychic-type Pokemon besides Togebo, who has Psychic or any other moves, we had to improvise with Ground-type moves. So, let's go ahead and get into this. She starts off with, of course, Toxapex, which is supposed to set up Toxic Spikes. But Togekiss has a different plan, because Togekiss can fly! We go ahead and use Psychic, and try to destroy this thing as fast as we possibly can. But of course we don't, and it sets up 2 Toxic Spikes, which is the most horrible thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But Muck comes out, we had Sudobo out, because we wanted to use Earthquake on this thing. And it knocked us off, but we're fine. We lost our Sog's Blood Coffee though. But we managed to murder Muck, which wasn't too much of a problem. So, her next Pokemon was of one of the big bads, Dragalge. Dragalge was a Dragon type, and Ice moves didn't really do the best on it. It did decent damage, but it didn't always kill it. Gengar came out, which was the actual big bad, because it Mega Evolved. Which is absolutely terrifying when you think about it. Because man, I'm not trying to fight this thing. Who do you take me for? But, of course, we knocked out Gengar with Typhlosion. And of course, we had to lock in with Expo, and use a Full Restore to try and knock this Crobat out as well. But don't worry, it was a breeze. I think. Kind of. This battle was low-key difficult, I'm not gonna lie to you. But anyway, she sent out Salazzle, and we used Ice Beam because I thought she was gonna send out Dragalge, so I spoke too soon. But anyway, Mudshot did end up killing this thing after she used 1 Sludge Bomb on me, which was low-key annoying. But after knocking out Salazzle, all she had left was her freaking stupid Crobat that I didn't kill. Technically she had 2, but it used U-turn, so now she really had Dragalge. But don't worry, we knocked them both out, not that big of a problem. But anyway, that gets us our first win in the Elite Four. Let's heal up my team inside my game, because I'm not trying to... Like, if I do get a death, I'm trying to stay right here. Okay. Alright, Dwayne. Let's see what you can do then, huh? You see, Dwayne's a bit tougher, leading with only ground types, and sure, he is ground types, so I can easily kill him with water, but not when it leads to his Cleavor, his freaking stupid Tyranitar, and other team members. Stone Axe, when it hits me, it launches freaking stones around the freaking air, which is so annoying. We didn't knock it out because of course it survives. I think it has Sturdy, but we knocked it out with Sudobo, so it wasn't too bad. After doing that, Cradilly wanted to come out. I stayed in because Sudobo actually has Ice Punch, which can do decent damage, but it won't kill it. Of course, Cradilly has Barrier, but it also has Giga Drain, which is so freaking annoying because it just constantly heals. But it's okay, we knocked it out with Sunflora, so it wasn't too bad. Gigalith was next, and I decided I'm gonna do a Sunny Day powered Solar Beam. But his curse was low-key pissing me off, but we knocked him out, so I'm surprised. But anyway, after doing all that, one of his big bads came out, which was Glimmora. Glimmora can set up Toxic Spikes once it's hit, and at this moment, it was already on the ground. And next was his Aerodactyl, which is another one of his big bads. Of course, because his Aerodactyl can Mega Evolve, I can maybe take this thing down, but I needed to use Toxic to try and stall this thing out. If I didn't use Toxic, things probably would have gone downhill actually, really bad. We sent out Expo to try and knock this thing out, or at least try to stall, but we ended up sending out Polibo, which ended up taking out this Aerodactyl. But now, it was his final big bad. Maybe tanky, but moves slow, Tyranitar. It was his final Mon. I wasn't too terrified, because I knew I could just stall this thing out, but I knew maybe stalling might be too risky, so I switched to Sunflora, but we ended up knocking it out with Politoed, so it wasn't too bad. So, that gets us our second win in the Elite Four. It was time for Teddy, and Teddy is interesting. He's got an interesting bug team, but can mostly be taken out with fire types. I'll show you an example right now. Expo, go ahead and use Flamethrower. You see, Galvantula sets up Sticky Web, which is basically unavoidable. Every time you send out a Pokemon, you lose speed, which is low-key pissy boy, but whatever, who cares. After that, he Mega Evolved his Scizor, which was, I guess, kinda Aura, but we sent out Typhlosion to probably take this thing out. Because Togekiss ended up getting out, but don't worry, we got Expo for this. So, let's go ahead and do that. Expo managed to knock out the Scizor, so that is actually pretty good. But another one of his big bads came out, which was Volcarona, which can set up Quiver Dance and raise its basically all its stats, but we managed to kill it with Togekiss. So, not of course without a price with Burn. But Frostmouth was another basically Quiver Dance bot. This thing would just Quiver Dance and spam any ice moves it had. It had Ice Beam, and I'm pretty sure it also had Bug Buzz, but we managed to kill it with Flamethrower. So it ended up being alright. So no need to worry for this. Lastly was his Golisopod, which was basically Water Bug, and the only way I can knock this thing out was with a Flying type. I honestly don't know why I went Expo here, but I think I was just tweaking. But I decided to stall, and I managed to knock this thing out with the Fly, but of course not without two Flies. Because technically, Golisopod does have emergency exit, but this was the last Pokemon. At least, I think. We didn't end up knocking it out, but of course it had emergency exit. And this is where the hidden buddy comes out, Low Kicks, which is never talked about. But we knocked it out, and then we knocked out Golisopod as well, which gives us a third win in the Elite Four. Finally, it was Lena, who specializes in Fairy-type Pokemon. And her team is really terrifying, as it varies through types, but they all contain Fairy. So really, we have to focus on this fight, and hope the servers don't go down this time. But let's go ahead and show her what we can truly do. We've made it this far, and we weren't ready to give up just yet. She starts off with the Grinsnarl, which is her setter, which Light Screen and of course, Reflect. Aibo managed to knock this thing out, with of course setting up Toxic, and Togekiss managed to knock out the Primarina, not without Toxic of course. Toxic played a huge role in all of these fights, because Toxic was mostly a stalling move, and would do more damage each turn it was set. Primarina had Calm Mind, which raised most of its stats, but we managed to knock it out. Don't worry, Toxic managed to take this thing out. So, we revived Togekiss, Moonblast hit our Aibo, but not to worry, since Toxic does its job. Aibo dies, but so does Primarina, so no big deal. Next was our Mimikyu, which we were able to take out immediately. Well, not immediately, but technically pretty fast. since its disguise was already knocked down, and we managed to at least toxic it, so it ended up being alright. We knocked it out, then it was Dedenne. Dedenne was pretty easy knocking out with Earthquake, and Shiinotic was a grass type, but it had Energy Ball, which is kind of terrifying. Almost any Pokemon that's like a fire type or water type knows Energy Ball, which is so weird. But after getting debated about burning this thing and knocking it out, it manages to use Strength Sap, which heals itself, which is low-key freaking annoying. And we were asleep too with Spore, so we couldn't even do anything. Oh my god, it was so annoying. But anyway, we ended up knocking it out after doing chip damage, and we absolutely slimed that thing out. And of course, her last big bad came out. It was her Mawile, which Mega Evolves. And let me tell you, that thing is really terrifying, but it's not terrifying if you have an Expo. Expo, you see, has Inferno, which guarantees, that's right, a burn. Almost every single time it's used. Sure, use Swords Dance, I can care less. You're about to die anyway by burn. What? How are you still alive? Oh my, you know what? I would stall, but I'm just gonna use Bulldoze. Sucker Punch was used, and we almost died, but we knocked out Mawile, getting us our final win in the Elite Four. That means only one more person stood in our way before Manga Gold can beat this game. That's right, we made it to the Champions Legion, which is the final place to be. Yeesh. But anyway, we made it, and I knew what teammate he was going to start off with, so I started off with Expo. So, let's go ahead and talk with Chad, or Brad. I get their names mixed up all the time. It's honestly kind of hilarious. But, he looked around, didn't say a word, and the battle had begun. It was time to beat champion Brad. He sent out Klefki, which is why I started with Expo. As you can see here, I knew I was going to take this thing down with the flamethrower. I was saving Inferno for someone special. So, let's go ahead and knock this thing out. How are you alive? How is that even possible? Oh my gosh. Oh, now you get a light screen. That's so annoying. But, we knocked out the Klefki, which ended up being okay, so we're good. Next, was one of its big bads? That's right, Rotom Wash. But I had a plan. Since Sunflora did have Sunny Day, we managed to do a Sunny Day powered Solar Beam. We were able to do that at least twice. But Rotom Wash had other plans of just staying in the fight. I thought he was going to use Volt Switch, but I guess not. So we managed to knock this thing out in about 3 Solar Beams. So, that's pretty good. We used our final Solar Beam, and finally knocked this thing out. That's 2 down. That means there's basically 4 more to go. But now, it was time for his ace, which Mega Evolved into Mega Shiny Metagross. This is terrifying, because it does have Rock Slide, but Expo wasn't ready to give up. We've made it so far, to the point Expo's just done giving up. I was done with this fight. I was over. Expo wasn't ready to give up either, and we managed to knock out the Metagross with Bulldoze. Rock Slide hit us once again, but we managed to survive at 85 HP and knock this thing out with Bulldoze like I said before. 3 down, 3 to go. Goodra came out. Dragon type. I Toxided first, because I'm not trying to, die on the first turn and not land anything. But we Toxided it, and we survived on 13 HP using Dazzling Gleam, getting it around down at half HP due to Toxic. That's right, Orange. We healed up Togekiss, and now it was Colossal's turn to get knocked out. That's right, he had 2 left. We knocked out Colossal, and finally, his Pokemon Annihilate was about to come out. It is fighting Ghost, so I decided to use Togekiss and try and knock this thing out. And it was time for Expo to end it all here. The starter we had at the beginning is the starter we're going to end with. We survived on 73 HP. We knocked out Annihilate with Toxic. We ended the run with the starter we started with. We beat Pokemon Frontier Legacy as Manga Gold. If you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, for we are so close to 22,000, and I would really appreciate it if you guys really did, well, you know, sub. But thank you for watching this far. If you did enjoy, please let me know down in the comments if you want more manga series like this, and I will do them. So, thank you so much, and I appreciate every single one of you who has been on my journey so far. As we continue to evolve, so do our Pokemon. So, this is officially the video of how I beat Pokemon Frontier Legacy only using Manga Gold's team. Man, this run I had a lot of fun with, and I hope you guys did too. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye!